请坐，请坐。要开始吧。I hope everyone noticed that the rain stopped and there were a few rays of sunshine before nightfall, which I hope is symbolic of what's going to happen with U.S. China relations. Ambassadors Barshefsky, Xie, Chun, Elliott, Dr. Bourla, friends and colleagues, thank you so much for coming tonight. When I look at this room, I'm reminded of my favorite movie, Little Big Man. And I'm reminded of when Chief Lodgkins, when Dustin Hoffman is returning for a very long time away. And he says, "My heart soars like a hawk." When I see all of you here supporting the work of the National Committee, my heart soars like a hawk. We're honored to have with us tonight Hong Kong Financial Secretary Paul Chan, who is here, who is flying from Hong Kong to Washington for the first time, Paul, I think in 6 years you'll be in Washington. But let's give him a very warm New York welcome. Thanks for being here, Paul. Some people come here to hear me quote from Chinese philosophers or leaders and relate their words to the current state of U.S. China relations. Well, today, you're going to get a bonus, because I'm going to quote from Chairman Mao twice. First, at a time when China was in turmoil, Mao said, "天下大乱，兴师大好." Which is, for those of you who do, most of the people in this audience do speak Chinese. For those who don't, he said, "There is great chaos under heaven, but the situation is excellent." While that turmoil, the turmoil when he said it, will never be repeated, his words still resonate with the world today. He also said, 我们要团结一切可以团结的力量. You can applaud on that one. Which is, we should unite all forces that can be united. It is fair to say, I think it's absolutely unquestionable to say, the world is chaotic. War, economic dislocation, political turmoil, weather that we have never seen before, change is being wrought by AI, and a U.S.-China relationship that is barely predictable. We could despair, but we at the National Committee know that at times of great challenge, we can make progress. We can make a difference. We can make progress if we unite all forces that can be united. And that is what the National Committee does. By gathering the leading experts in the United States, year to date, our videos have been viewed over 3.2 million times. Our flagship Public Intellectuals program now has 180 of America's outstanding young academics throughout the country who bring China expertise to their local communities. We continue to educate members and staff of the U.S. Congress and the executive branch so they can formulate China policies that benefit the American people. We directly talk to the Chinese leadership to advocate for U.S. interests and directly raise issues of concern, as we did 3 weeks ago when Premier Li Qiang visited New York City. We now convene 8 Track 2 dialogues. In some, we sit across from our Chinese counterparts and strongly disagree on every agenda item. On others, such as our healthcare, digital economy, people-to-people, and macroeconomic dialogues, the two sides agree on topics that can help our governments craft policies that benefit the peoples on both sides of the Pacific. In our soon-to-be published consensus from our healthcare dialogue, experts from both sides write, quote, "At a time of increasing global health concerns, including climate change, aging populations, ongoing threat of pandemics, and increasing incidence of disease, it is more important than ever that China and the United States work together to address health issues facing both their populations and the world. The evidence is clear that such collaboration helps save lives," close quote. Leading scientists agree that united effort on issues of common concern is important. I hope others will soon agree too. I hope our presidents will meet in a couple of weeks in Korea. And I strongly hope that they lay the groundwork for visits by President Trump to China, and then at the end of next year, by President Xi Jinping to the United States. There is an opportunity to make progress on security issues, on trade and investment, on medical cooperation, on AI government, on people-to-people exchange. Progress on these issues will benefit Americans and Chinese. We couldn't do what we do without an incredibly dedicated staff who every day come in and come up with ways to educate people about U.S. China relations. Please, staff, rise, and please join me in thanking them. Woo. Of course, we can only accomplish what we do today with the support of every single person in this room. So first, I want to thank our honoree tonight, the Chair and CEO of Pfizer, Albert Bourla. He and his team make the lives of Americans and Chinese healthier. They also have helped us make this gala a success. I also want to thank our cornerstone supporters, Evan Greenberg, who you will hear from later, and Chubb, Ray Dalio and Dalio Philanthropies, Ming Xie of Fulgent Genetics, and Peng Zhao from Citadel Securities. I also want to thank our team, Oisin Hennigan, Meredith Mastrella, Xia Wei, Alex Guido, and Zach Zubilionis. All of you, please rise and have our thanks. Thanks to all of their tireless efforts and the support of all of you, I am proud to announce that this year we have raised $3,120,000. I thought that one would get a standing ovation. It's one of the best we've ever had in our history. Tonight, our honoree will be presented with a painting, which I think is going to be put up there. It's done by an outstanding painter who has flown from Beijing to be with us. He is vice president of the Beijing Fine Arts Academy, and his paintings are displayed in museums throughout China and the world. Please join me in welcoming Mo Xiaosong, whose work will be presented to Chairman Bourla tonight. Now to the musical portion, and welcoming our musical guests. Abigail Washburn, a Grammy Award-winning vocalist, songwriter, and banjo player, and Wu Fei, a virtuoso guzheng player and composer. That's guzheng for those who don't know. Their collaboration blends American old-time music and Chinese folk song traditions. Their music highlights our shared humanity and the connective power of music. Please join me in welcoming Abigail and Wu Fei.
谢谢大家。亲爱朋友们，你们好。So glad to be with you tonight. A lot of people ask Faye and myself how we know each other. I was raised in Maryland and Illinois and Minnesota, and in college I was bit by the China culture bug, and I went to Sichuan in 1997, and I started studying. And China ended up being a very important part of my early adulthood from 17 on, and lived there off and on, and then became a musician and started touring China for about 15 years, playing music, playing traditional Appalachian folk music from the mountains of the eastern seaboard of America. And Faye, meanwhile, we are the same age. She was raised in Beijing and went to conservatory, and then moved to America at the age of
21 for college. So I was born and raised in Beijing, my home city. And when I came to the States as a young adult, I was very fascinated by what's outside. And as a young student, I basically just brought kind of some clothes, mainly my music scores. And I wanted to bring something with me that I could connect, something that could connect to my root. So I brought a big guzheng, of course, which maybe I should have studied flute. It would be much easier, right? And then I just somehow just had to ship a guzheng. It was like had become my life partner. And through the beautiful instrument, which has more than 2,500 years of history. Who knows how many people the instrument have connected? Wow.
And the banjo is originally, from the Tigris-Euphrates River, but traveled to West Africa and then came to America from West Africa through the Caribbean. So both of our instruments have so many stories to tell. And that's one of the favorite things Faye and I do together is tell each other stories. We met in our mid-20s, and we've been friends for 20 years.
And then we became mothers around the same time, which will lead to the next song we like to do.
First, we started emailing each other about, because
email was still the thing,
Do you guys remember email when we used that a lot?
So ancient.
Yeah, we started emailing each other and complaining about our boyfriends. We dumped our boyfriends. We got married. We, kvetched and complained about our boyfriends, and eventually married them anyway, and
right, that's right, of course.
Had children, and
she skipped some part, but yeah, I'm with her. And then we, as a working musician mothers, we felt, how can we keep working and look after our babies? And then we started figuring out, you have lullabies have been very universal, and when you sing lullabies and you put your baby to sleep. So I said, maybe you sing a lullaby. I sing a lullaby from my culture. If we can put our baby to sleep while rehearses song, wow, 一箭双雕. So mysteriously, beautifully, it worked.
It did work. We sat on my porch in Tennessee, and that's where we live now.
Yeah.
And put our babies to sleep and wrote this song together.
Yeah. And then the Chinese song is from northeastern China on the Wusuli boat song. Wusuli 船歌 is from the He people, which is a very small minority. Half of them live on the China side, half of them live in the Russia side. But they all live on the Wusuli river bank. And their song about a mother rocking her baby to sleep on the boat while she goes fishing to feed the family.
And The Water is Wide comes from, the UK. The Irish and the Scottish fight about who originated this song. And it is called The Water is Wide. And it came to America and has become a traditional American song as well.
山，蓝蓝的水，鱼儿那个船啊，浪儿那个飞，鹅捏在床头，它摇着宝贝。啊嘞呵嘞呵嘞呵嘞你那，呵嘞呵嘞呵你那。
The water is wide, I can't cross o'er, and neither have I wings to fly. Give me a boat I can carry two, and we shall row, my child and I.
啊嘞呵嘞呵嘞呵嘞你那，呵嘞呵嘞呵你那。乌苏里乌拉，那里有那北，绵绵的青山，蓝蓝的水，鱼儿那个船啊，浪儿那个飞，鹅捏在床头，它摇着宝贝。啊嘞呵嘞呵嘞呵嘞你那，呵嘞呵嘞呵你那。乌苏里乌拉，那里有那北，绵绵的青山，蓝蓝的水，鱼儿那个船啊，浪儿那个飞，鹅捏在床头，它摇着宝贝。啊嘞呵嘞呵嘞呵嘞你那，呵嘞呵嘞呵你那。啊嘞呵呵你那。It's an honor to be here among all of you who've been working so tirelessly, especially at the current time, and we really hope for better time. Some more flights going back so I can take my parents back to Beijing. It was a schlep last year. Okay, next song, yeah, the last song, yeah.
I think Faye and I was hearing the introduction and about the idea of forces uniting where they can. And for Faye and I, we have been lucky to have such a special friendship with one another. And I've been realizing more and more in these times, and I know Faye has too, but that just playing a simple song together can feel so good. And dancing and making art and helping each other with our babies. Take him!
Yeah, all the folk songs we've learned from all over the world, especially American songs and Chinese songs, all the songs from different traditions. We just really want to sing sadness, love, romance, struggle, work. Yeah.
These are the places where we're all the same.
Yes.
And now we're going to share a song that...
we switched the map to northwest China.
To Qinghai.
Qinghai.
Modern-day Qinghai.
Oh, wow. It's an amazing province.
And we really love it partially because the folk songs there represent the will and the spirit of the women. And the women there don't take any bull honky. If they like a man, they say, "You, on the back of my horse now."
Yeah. So it's a fun song to sing. It's a challenging song to sing too. Yeah, it's called 四季歌, 4 seasons. So every culture has a song about 4 seasons, and each season, the spring will flower blossom, and it symbolizes certain things, and it's all very powerful. All the love and good wishing. Yeah. All right. 四季歌. Yeah.
And thank you again for having us. We can't wait to come out there and chow down with y'all. And welcome down to Tennessee sometime.
Yeah, shout out Tennessee. Yeah.
Square dancing and some, Sino-Appalachian folk music. Come on down.
Yeah, in Beijing, I grew up in the
come.
square dance, 广场舞. Yeah.
And if anyone wants me to bring square dancing, Faye and I to bring square dancing to China, I'm in. Here we go.
Yeah. 来啦！
春季里呀，到了这水仙花儿开呀，年轻轻这个女儿家呀，撒样在进来呀，小呀哥哥。夏季里呀嘛，到了这女儿心上交呀，石榴花呀嘛结籽儿呀，赛过那玛瑙呀，小呀哥哥，小呀哥哥呀，小呀哥哥呀，小呀。哥哥呀，亲手嘛摘一颗。Springtime
着，雪花儿满天飞呀，雪花儿满天飞。女儿家那个心儿呀，赛过那雪花儿白呀，小呀哥哥。小呀哥哥，谢谢。
Good evening. Thank you. I don't have a banjo. I'll give you my address after the dinner. I love the banjo. Let me welcome you all here to our 2025 Gala Dinner. I want to particularly recognize Ambassadors Xie, Chen, and Elliott, Dr. Bourla, distinguished guests, and friends of the National Committee on U.S. China Relations. 2025 has been a tumultuous time for the U.S. and China. I don't need to tell you this, but I will anyway. Once a negotiator, always a negotiator. After starting the year with renewed trade tensions, decreased official contact, and few areas of cooperation, in the last month, or I should say last month, this is a different month, last month, a bipartisan congressional delegation traveled to China. Our president spoke on the phone, and a TikTok deal was announced. But progress is rarely linear, as the most recent news underscores. The US and China are each trying to shore up their economies and ensure their national security. The way they're each doing this is not always the most productive or the most friendly. There's no question we won't find common ground on every issue. Structural issues remain outstanding. There are a variety of points of contention between the two sides. But I take great encouragement and hope in the notion that leaders of great countries recognize the value of communication over conflict and will always work to that end. And I actually do think amid all of this disruption right now, we're going to see the same, more positive pattern emerge. The world depends on stable U.S.-China relations. And as chair of the National Committee, I'm very proud of the work that the committee has done to foster exchange, to foster a finding for common ground between the two countries. As Steve said in his opening remarks, in the last year, we've launched new programs, we've reached new audiences, we've convened experts and leaders to discuss critical issues between the two countries. We've invested great time in the next generation of US and China leaders. All of this would not have been possible without the support of every one of you in the room. And so on behalf of the board and on behalf of the National Committee, we thank you really from the bottom of our hearts. I particularly want to express my gratitude to our honoree this evening, Pfizer's CEO and chairman, Dr. Albert Bourla. At a time when bilateral relations are fraught, healthcare remains a vital area of shared interest. Under Dr. Bourla's leadership, Pfizer has driven absolutely groundbreaking scientific innovation and strengthened its commitment to equitable global health care. Amid Dr. Bourla's innumerable achievements and contributions, he has somehow found the time to increase his dedication to the National Committee. And we're particularly grateful for his time and attention and his strong belief in the mission of the National Committee. I would also at this time like to thank a number of our supporters, some by name, Chubb, Fulgen Genetics, Citadel Securities, Dalio Philanthropies, BlackRock, Citigroup, General Atlantic Foundation, and Wangshan America Corporation, as well as our other sponsors and members of our Gala Committee that are listed in your book tonight. Finally, and I know Steve already did this, but I'll do it again, let me thank him for his really extraordinary leadership, Vice Presidents Jan Barris and Meredith Mastrella, who are absolutely phenomenal, and our Gala team, Oisin Hennigan, Alexander Guido, Zachary Zulionsis, and Weishia, as well as the rest of the dedicated staff who stood up earlier this evening. On their behalf, thank you all very, very much. I now have the pleasure of welcoming to the podium Ambassador Xie Feng, the ambassador of China to the United States. His background is extraordinarily distinguished, from China's ambassador to Indonesia, to vice foreign minister, of course, ambassador here. His reach in the US is equally broad. A highly effective interlocutor to government officials, to experts, to think tank folk, and simply to the general community. And a really lovely guy, I have to say. Ambassador Xie, we welcome you here, we're grateful you're here, and the podium is now yours.
Thank you, Ambassador Barshefsky, for your warm and generous words. Chair Charlene Barshefsky, Executive Vice Chair Evan Greenberg, President Stephen Orlins, Dr. Albert Bourla, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, it gives me great pleasure to attend this year's Gala Dinner of the National Committee on U.S. China Relations. My warm congratulations go to the honoree, Dr. Bourla. Hopefully, Pfizer will not only make people in both our countries healthier, but also contribute to a healthier China-US relationship. Let me also take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to the National Committee and friends from various sectors for your long-standing care and support for China-U.S. relations. Thank you. As the most important bilateral relationship in the world, the China-U.S. relationship bears on not only the well-being of our two peoples, but also the future of the entire world. Under the strategic guidance of the two heads of state, the relationship had eased and shown a heart-won stabilizing momentum. In recent days, however, challenges have arisen again. And both our peoples and the international community are watching closely. How can we reassure them? I would like to share with you 3 thoughts. First, a tariff war or trade war should not be fought and cannot be won. During the past 5 months, the economic and trade teams of our two countries held 4 rounds of talks, reached positive common understanding, and stabilized bilateral economic and trade ties, which brought relief to our peoples and the world. Unfortunately, the U.S. side has not stopped suppressing China in the fields of economy, trade, and technology. Within just about 20 days after the Madrid talks in September, it put multiple Chinese entities on its entity list and special designated national list, expanded the scope of control over business with the affiliate rule, affecting thousands of Chinese companies, and persisted in implementing Section 301 measures targeting China's maritime logistics and shipbuilding industries, which have taken effect today, imposing port fees on Chinese-owned, operated, and built vessels in a discriminatory manner. These measures have seriously harmed China's legitimate and lawful rights and interests, rattled the international economic, trade, and shipping order, and undermined the security and stability of global industrial and supply chains. After the U.S. side threatened to hike tariffs against China again, U.S. stocks and the dollar fell, and the global market panicked, casting a shadow over the world economy. Both experiences and lessons have told us a tariff war or trade war will serve no one's interest in the end, and equality, respect, and mutual benefit represent the only right way to properly handle differences. China does not want to fight such a war, but neither will we sit idle by when our rights and interests are harmed. And the international economic and trade rules, as well as the multilateral trading system, are undermined. The U.S. side needs to return to reason, stop applying maximum pressure, work with China to resolve each other's concerns through dialogue based on mutual respect and equal-footed consultation, and avoid treading the old path of escalating tensions in economy and trade, which will only lead nowhere. Second, it is important to unswervingly keep to the overall direction of mutual respect, peaceful coexistence, and win-win cooperation. The two heads of state provided strategic guidance for the development of China-U.S. relations during their recent phone call in September. President Xi Jinping pointed out that China and the United States are fully capable of helping each other succeed and prospering together for the good of the two countries and the whole world. President Donald Trump also said that the two countries working together can get many great things done that are good for peace and stability of the world. As permanent members of the UN Security Council, the world's two largest economies and major nuclear powers, China and the United States shoulder special and significant responsibilities for world peace, stability, and prosperity. Under the new situation, we share more, not fewer, common interests, and the strategic value of our cooperation has grown, not declined. In the face of mounting global challenges, President Xi Jinping has put forward the global development, security, civilization, and governance initiatives to contribute China's wisdom and solutions to addressing the deficits in peace, security, development, and governance. China's initiatives are open, and we welcome U.S. participation. China stands ready to work with all countries to build a community with a shared future for humanity. In bilateral and multilateral areas, from combating drug trafficking, telecom fraud, and financial crime, to addressing climate change, promoting the global women's cause, preventing and treating cancer and infectious diseases, and exploring space, China and the United States should and can cultivate new highlights and growth points of cooperation. There's no denying that with differences in history, culture, system, and national conditions, our two countries would not always see eye to eye. But we should not let prejudice and suspicion dominate our decision-making, nor should we allow confrontation and conflict to define our bilateral relations. Instead, we need to respect each other's core interests and major concerns and make every effort to be partners and friends rather than rivals or even adversaries. The Taiwan question is the question most likely to have a disruptive impact on China-US relations. The One China principle and the 3 Sino-US joint communiques bear on the political foundation of our bilateral relationship must be firmly abided by. The US side should exercise prudence, refrain from distorting UNGA Resolution 2758 or spreading the fallacy that Taiwan's status is undetermined, and avoid sending any wrong signal to the Taiwan independence separatists. Third, we need to take real action and pull synergies to advance China-US exchanges and cooperation. The China-US relationship could not develop without strategic guidance from the top, nor could it flourish without the support of the people. Over the past 6 decades, as a bridge builder, icebreaker, and dedicated promoter of exchanges and cooperation between our two societies, the National Committee on China-US Relations has fostered extensive bonds across various sectors and made important contributions to the improvement and development of China-US relations. The business community has always served as a stabilizer of China-US relations, an advocate of pragmatic cooperation, and a catalyst for people-to-people exchanges. Many American companies have selected China, grown with China, and benefited both China, the US, and the world with their presence in China. Pfizer is an example. 36 years ago, it entered the Chinese market with a China all-in commitment. In recent years, its annual revenue in China has hit billions of dollars, a success story, demonstrating how China and the US can achieve win-win results and help each other succeed. China has unique strengths in system, market, industry, and talents, and provides tremendous opportunities in the areas including industrial transformation, technological innovation, expansion of consumption, new urbanization, infrastructure building, and ensuring and improving people's livelihoods. The upcoming fourth plenary session of the 20th CPC session of the 20th CPC Central Committee will study the proposals for formulating the 15th five-year plan, the blueprint for China's national economic and social development in the next 5 years. China will stay firmly committed to advancing high-quality development and high-standard opening up, and will continue sharing development dividends with the US and other countries in the world. The key to a sound state-to-state relationship lies in affinity between the people. We welcome American friends to make full use of our 240-hour visa-free transit policy and the online visa services of the China Consular Affairs app. Visit China more often and feel for yourselves a real, multi-dimensional, and panoramic China. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, when we look at China-US relations over the past 5 decades, we will see that it is only normal to come across wind and rain now and then. But on the whole, the relationship has forged ahead against all odds. In the turbulent and fluid world, we have 1,000 reasons to get the China-US relationship right, and no single reason to mess it up. Where there is a will, there is a way. We believe there are always more solutions than problems, and that the ultimate result is shaped by our efforts. All of you here are stakeholders in China-US relations. As a proverb goes, the flame burns higher when everyone brings wood to it. At this critical juncture of China-US relations, let us join hands, build on what has been achieved, keep to the right direction, steer clear of obstacles and disruptions, and advance China-US relations along the right track of steady, sound, and sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Good evening, everybody. Since its founding in 1966, the National Committee has taken a long view of the U.S.-China relationship. Its work has been grounded in a belief that mutual understanding, achieved through active engagement, would support productive and stable U.S.-China relations, and stable bilateral relations would serve American interests. The National Committee has been relentless in this pursuit during good times and bad, and in all the ups and downs of the relationship. At present, our two countries have mostly been working to put a tactical floor under the relationship. President Trump and President Xi may meet later this month, and we all hope to build on this and set a direction for the relationship.
I commend both leaders for their efforts to generate more stability in the relationship. At a more strategic level, though, our two countries are moving further apart. Both countries are actively pursuing spoken and unspoken strategies to lessen exposure and insulate ourselves from each other. We're both focused on the vulnerabilities of interdependency. Each side is looking for solutions to its challenges that do not involve the other. Partly as a consequence, energy in both governments is spent moving away from the U.S.-China relationship. There is a noticeable absence of an active agenda to address structural challenges. There is a deficit of strategic thinking about how the world's two largest countries define our relationship and in turn will relate to each other. Efforts at risk reduction and improving military-to-military relations have mostly stalled. Exchanges between American and Chinese scientists have become more guarded and closed. Student exchanges have greatly diminished. Cross-border commercial investments have dwindled. This pattern has repeated itself across virtually every facet of the relationship. Instead, much more attention is being focused in both countries on finding ways to source key inputs at home or among friends. And to be clear, when it comes to over-reliance on critical supplies where we are each sole source suppliers, diversification is a necessary and rational risk management. And to be clear, neither side should be weaponizing critical dependencies. The current direction of travel also creates the illusion of security. It leads both countries to believe they are less vulnerable to the other than they in fact are. Here's the reality. The United States and China are and will remain the two most powerful and capable actors in the world. Neither country can credibly seal itself off from the impacts of the other. Regardless of our feelings towards each other, the United States and China will remain bound together through our economies and ultimately our shared existence on this planet. I believe both countries will need to find ways to relate productively to each other if they wish to achieve the security and prosperity they seek. In this task, both countries could draw lessons and inspiration from the work of my dear friend, Dr. Albert Bourla and Pfizer. Under Dr. Bourla's leadership, Pfizer has driven groundbreaking scientific innovation that has changed all of our lives. In China, Pfizer has operated for over 3 decades and across more than 300 cities. Rather than being whipsawed by events, Dr. Bourla has kept Pfizer focused on its mission of improving healthcare, including by pooling knowledge among experts on both sides of the Pacific. In so doing, Dr. Bourla has been instrumental in advancing the National Committee's mission. Dr. Bourla and I share the view that business and private sector leadership have an important and strategic role to play with U.S.-China relationship. Two-way trade and investment remains in the interest of both of our countries. It has built a deep and long-standing interdependency that we all benefit from and that builds and binds our fortunes and also in turn adds ballast and acts as a stabilizing force. It's a balance. While our government and many American companies are rightly focused on risk reduction and exposure in China, we also should welcome interdependencies. Pfizer is a true multinational and a great example of a company that does this. For his tremendous contribution to delivering equitable global health care, I'm pleased tonight to introduce and honor my dear friend, Dr. Albert Bourla.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Thank you, Ivan, for your very kind and generous words, and also thank you for sharing your thoughts, but always wise. Ambassador Barshefsky, Ambassador Xie Feng, Ambassador Chen Li, Steve Orlins, distinguished guests, good evening. It is a great honor to be here with you today. I want to start by applauding the leadership of the National Committee on United States-China Relations. For more than half a century, you have been a beacon, lighting the path toward greater understanding and stronger relationships between citizens and businesses of both countries. Your ongoing work and advocacy are vital in guiding us today. Trade tensions continue to simmer, and occasionally they heat up, but we believe we must continue to place our confidence in dialogue and connection to provide a productive path forward, as it has many times before for the U.S.-China relationship. I want to thank you for this recognition. It means a lot to me because I truly believe in the mission that you believe, that collaboration, that engagement, that productive work together can only do good for humanity. And this is particularly true in my field of interest, when what we are doing, we are trying to fight diseases. So I would like to share some brief perspectives about what I am observing in China right now. It's been my privilege to visit many times over many years this country, including last spring. Pfizer's sustained commitment, as the ambassador said, goes back nearly 40 years, 36 years. We are now one of the leading multinational pharmaceutical companies. We have a presence in more than 300 cities nationwide in China. Over the years, we have introduced over 80 innovative medicines and vaccines, and last year alone, we touched the lives of more than 45 million people in China that needed our medicines, and we were there for them. I'm very proud that our history demonstrates how innovation and engagement ultimately lead to great strides in improving lives. Today, we are expanding our focus. This country, China, continues to advance innovation. In biopharma, the sector that I know best, what I see, it is unmistakable, remarkable. I've never seen a country advancing in science as quickly, as fast, and as powerfully as I'm witnessing China doing today. In biopharma, China's dramatic speed, cost, and scale have triggered a shift in the global competitive landscape. China now generates about 30% of all global drug development. Several years back was less than 5. 10 years ago, China had about 60 novel drug candidates, new drugs in the make. In 2024, from 60, 1,200. That's what I call remarkable progress. This is second only to the United States and has already surpassed European Union. In China, they do things very fast. In our science, because we are dealing with lives, of course, takes a lot of time to develop medicines. And one of the bottlenecks it is how to recruit patients in our clinical studies. When a clinical study needs 1,000 people so that we can conduct it, it will take time until we will recruit those 1,000 people that are needed for the study. In China, they do this recruitment for clinical trials 2 to 5 times faster than we do it in the US. That will have a result. In our business, and I hate calling it business because I think it is more of a mission, time is life. When we compress the times, as China is teaching us how to do it, from proof of concept to registration, it is critical to advancing drug development and positively impacting patients' lives. Because there are some people that are waiting for us to finish the study and bring the medicine before it is too late for themselves or for the loved ones. The global biopharma companies, like Pfizer, are taking notice of this progress in China. Chinese biotech firms accounted for nearly 1/3 of all large pharma drug licensing deals last year. A major shift in where innovation is sourced, because innovation now also is produced in China. Pfizer is part of this. We just completed an exclusive licensing agreement this year with 3S Bio, a leading Chinese biopharmaceutical company. What we do with this collaboration? We are developing a bispecific antibody, very technically challenging chemistry, that has the potential to become a new backbone therapy for patients with cancer, multiple forms of cancer. And we will start with thoracic cancers, lung cancer, head and neck cancer. During this collaboration, we have developed great respect for the 3S Bio team, that I have personally enjoyed getting to know their leaders. I always want to know the leader before we do business with a company. The largest insight we have gained is that every day, new signs of biomedical progress emerge in China. This is why I'm optimistic for opportunities for scientific innovation, even in the face of growing global health challenges. Like many nations with a rapidly aging and growing population, China is burdened by a rise of cancer and many other chronic diseases, as we are here. We are committed to continuing to deliver on our purpose for patients. And we aim to mobilize investments to help accelerate innovation, improve treatment standards for Chinese patients and for American patients, for all the patients in the world. We have already in China gained approvals for 30 products, and we are having 21 clinical trials agreements over there right now. We are launching open innovation centers in Shanghai and Beijing. The way that I see it is that in a highly competitive world, when it comes to health, the enemy is only one, the disease. The enemy is cancer. The enemy is heart attack. And we need collaboration so to make sure that our children will live in a healthier place. We can't put barriers in science. By aligning our global capabilities with local innovation, we believe we can help better serve patients around the world, and of course in China. The opportunity is clear, and the opportunity is for the world, it is for the two countries, it is for the biopharma, it is for Pfizer, but more importantly, it is for the society of the two countries. When we look to the past, I think we can be encouraged. The United States and China have a long history of collaborating in science and healthcare, and despite the fact that they were always ups and downs in their relations, eventually they found a way to work together. US and Chinese teams have done remarkable work in the fight against preventing and treating infectious diseases such as tuberculosis, yellow fever, influenza, HIV, Ebola. The exchange of scientific knowledge and trust building has become a model for global health partnership. It is a powerful example of science in the service of the community, in the service of the world. We must draw on these lessons again. Cancer, Alzheimer's, heart disease, rare genetic disorders, they don't recognize borders. Neither should our solutions. We must be committed to harnessing the world's best science wherever it resides, and usually collaboration brings the best science. Patients, people like all of us, are counting on us to come together across borders, sectors, and disciplines. We are at a pivotal moment. The leadership and commitment of organizations such as the National Committee and its many supporters, it is essential. My great hope is that we will view global scientific capabilities through the lens of optimism and collaboration. Yes, pessimists are usually right, but nothing great has been done in this world without an optimist behind it. And that's what matters. I'm confident that together the US and China can pioneer the next era of global healthcare innovation. The cures of tomorrow will come from collaboration, from shared science, and from a belief that global problems demand global solutions. Thank you for the opportunity to join you today. Thank you for this remarkable honor, and it's great that I spent this evening together with you. Thank you very, very much.
Albert, a perfect message that the enemy is disease, the enemy is cancer, the enemy is heart attack, and it is a common enemy, whether you're American or you're Chinese. So a perfect, perfect message for tonight. Let me just close with one, as Dr. Bourla said, we've been at this business for more than a half a century. In fact, next year will be our 60th anniversary. So we're going to have a big shindig for our 60th anniversary. And I want nobody to be able to say to me, gosh, I had something else on my schedule for that day. So I am announcing today that the 60th anniversary dinner is November 10th, 2026. So put it on your calendar now, and it's going to be in the same venue, so you'll have no excuses for not attending. But thank you all for attending this year. We will, as we did last year, we discovered it's a great success. Those of you who want to go home can go home. Those of you who want to stay for a dessert buffet, we will have a dessert buffet in the back. But it's been a wonderful evening. It is truly, as I started the evening, my heart soars like a hawk. Thank you so much.